So, my black people, hear me. November 2nd. Okay? Yeah. Hey, most of us, we're not racist. We ain't had no problem with immigration, foreigners coming here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying black people perfect. Some black people have committed crimes and all of this kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Or against foreigners or against Americans and mainly against our own people. Okay? We know this is all true. But black people, my black people, I want you to understand. We are not a problem in this fucking country like they try to make us out to be. They have told a lot of lies, the white folks, to foreigners, you know, and portrayed us deliberately in media, portrayed us deliberately in movies and everything, as constantly a problem, gangsters or criminals and terrible people and, I remember when you would see movies, like, for example, when I was coming up in the 70s, black movies, they started doing black movies, black exploitation, they called them. Some of them were, decent little movies or whatever. Some of them were kind of crappy, whatever. But, black people was getting represented in the media and stuff, able to do other things, more things than we have done before. Because I'm sure there was a time when you rarely saw black people on TV. I know that to be true, When I came up, you didn't see a lot, but you saw some, And so, it's always just been that as long as we were slaves, we were good, and we worked hard for massa and all that, and let massa do whatever they want to us, and rape us and tear us apart, our families apart, and rape our men, rape our women, kill women and stuff like that if they tried to be free, cut babies out of pregnant women's stomach if they tried to be free, and take the baby and smash the baby's head against a fucking tree or something, kill the baby too. All kind of crazy, vile, extreme horror. And y'all never called it a humanitarian crisis. Not once. Nobody. Not across the globe. Though everybody knew we were slaves over here. There were slaves, enslaved over here in America. Nobody came. Nobody wanted to come to this country, do anything. Okay? Very few came. Very few. I know some Asians came. Yeah, I know that. White folks. But very few of anybody else came. They all stayed away, didn't want to come here or nothing until after it was all built, all fought for, World War Ones, World War Two, stuff like that, And we were great, we were fantastic as long as we knew our place. I've researched it. I think it was a Virginia governor or a very, high important ranking people, even in the government, had slaves and stuff like that, and they went hard to make sure they got reparations. They went hard to make sure they held on to us, even to the point of slave breeding after it was over, which was genetic mutations, man, because they would breed the men with even their own family members, creating all kinds of genetic mutations and stuff. Trained my people for hundreds of years. Don't value education. You read, you learn to get educated or anything, we kill you. We kill you. So who would want to become educated? Very few had the nerve to try and become educated when we were slaves. And those who did, some would, if they got caught, they'd get hurt or killed. And thank God there was some who did it anyway. I'm sorry. I can't say all the whites are bad. I can't say they're all racist. Because some of them fought in that war to free us. If they hadn't, I don't care what their motivation was, we wouldn't be free. Okay? Because whether they wanted to, didn't want to, thought it was, I don't really want to fight for no niggas or this and that, they went and they did it. Regardless. And one of the goals was definitely to free the slaves. I don't care if it was also economic considerations. Oh, we don't want to let the South secede and this and that. Because the South made a lot of money with cotton, tobacco, and slaves. Yeah. And so we always been valuable. Our people even built the White House. Our people have done so many inventions here that were stolen by the whites. Over 100. Even I don't know all of them. I saw a YouTube video one time. I didn't watch it because it was so... I'll watch it eventually. But I was so worn out with learning all the horrors that our have been visited upon our people by white Americans who refuse to treat us like just actual Americans because we're not free, because we're free now, and refuse to pay us full price or don't want to or hostile and do put all kinds of policies in place. The very same people who say, well, I don't have to, why should I have to pay reparations? I didn't own no slaves. You wasn't a slave. We're still treated like it though. Yeah, we're still treated like the only value we have is as assistants, mammies, entertainers, supporting white businesses, white homes, white families, white everything. While they take from us anything that we make and tell us work hard and you'll get ahead. But we've done that. We work hard. Not all people have, I ain't gonna lie. A lot. Many. Otherwise, they wouldn't have kept us here for hundreds of years, even to the point of breeding my people for 60 years after slavery was over. And try to look the other way, while even now, from the time the breeding stopped all the way up until now, there have been policies after policies after policies put in place in the government and housing and everything, banking, all of that, to make sure that we get less. Make do with less. Gotta work twice as hard. Get less. Period. And if they can take it from you, they will. They've done it to black communities again and again and again and again. Central Park used to be a black community. Is it a black community now? Nope. They would flood black communities, all kind of shit, tear them up, everything, man. And then try to whitewash and minimize that history. There's still towns, sundown towns, where black people are not, you don't want to go there. You don't. They'll tell you don't go there. And if you be there, they'll have signs and stuff like that. You got to be out by sundown. You're only welcome if you work there. If you're one of the few blacks who work there. And you better know your place and stay in your place. And if not, don't even stop there. Get out. You better go. They'll tell them. It still happened. Still happening today. There was places even in the 80s, the 90s when I was growing up. I didn't know it then. So y'all don't know it either, you're foreigners. Because the white man, unfortunately, a lot of them lie a lot. Thank God there's some who tell the truth on their own people about how they discriminate on us on a regular. And see, my thing is I figured it out. That diversity that they invited in here when they did diversity bills and all of that, after Kennedy was killed and stuff like that, that might have been one of the reasons why they killed him. Among others. Whoever did it. Because I have no doubt. Because Kennedy definitely was trying to help poor people and black people. And all of that. And, most white Americans don't want that or don't care. Or they get resentful, and they want to start taking away from us the few crumbs that they've given us towards equaling the scale. Like affirmative action. Now they decide to take that back. Because they've invited enough foreigners in here that they want to complain about affirmative action because they don't give a fuck that our people were brutalized and on pain of death. You couldn't even learn. You couldn't even learn. So you really think all of our people would just make the leap up to educational and academic excellence without even, being taught for hundreds of years? You can't learn, it's not important, black people better not learn, this and that, And then the men taken out of the households by the welfare policies. They don't do that to the Spanish, but they made sure they did it to us. They don't do it to the rest of these folks here now. They made sure they did it to us. Having people come in the home, check your home to make sure you didn't have too much nice stuff and make sure no man was in the house. Yeah, in order for you to get welfare. While putting in, projects. You know what projects are? It's a project to see how it works out. Give us less, the least. Get us away from them. We want you away from our communities. You're welcome to come and work here for less and then get out. Or, just all kinds, on and on and on, endless shit. And then they, know what they did? Diversity, my black people. You know what they did? They invited in diverse racism. Yeah. People who are fine with brutalizing and minimizing and marginalizing or even exterminating their own black people in their countries. And they don't like them, and they definitely don't like us, because guess what? They want what we have. They come here with the bullshit. I want to be a doctor, lawyer, doctor, Indian chief. Do you see them running around studying hard to be that doctor and lawyer? Some, a few, maybe 20, 30%. The rest, 70%, here for the free ride. Free ride. Economic migrants, here for a free ride. They don't hire us. You know, I've had a Muslim woman who's barely literate, can barely read and write, tell me, we don't like you, we want you to leave. Yeah, I've had Spanish guy tell me, stay right here, so he could try to attack me with a machete. I left. I didn't want the foolishness. It was a simple argument with somebody, not even him. And he wanted to run and get a machete to attack me, an old black lady, and insist that I pull out my pepper spray so that, we could have this showdown, pepper spray versus machete. Evil shit. And told me, don't walk here. Get out of here. And all kind of shit. Outright discrimination. And we're suffering a lot more outright discrimination now because of these policies. Places we can't go, segregated from. We have laws against that. I guess they'll take that next. And affirmative action so that my people could get ahead because they never picked, rarely. I know some of them are not as educationally up to speed. That's because we've always been given less in our communities. Never given enough. Never enough teachers, never supported like they do. Or we got them all free this, free that, tablets and this and that, metro cards and this and that. Never. Ever. Anything was given, it was grudgingly with an attitude like, oh, here they come, begging again. Huh? We wouldn't have had to beg if we were here in this country like everybody else on an equal footing, allowed to, pursue education, giving support and this and that because we were minorities, right? We were the only minorities that were enslaved here in this country, held back here in this country, had to fight for freedom because they wouldn't let us be free without actually, a whole war. And so none of these minorities who came afterwards have any of that in their history with this country. And they all knew our people were slaves, never cared about coming to this country or helping us, with the racism. Everybody talks about racism. They talk and talk and talk. And then what do? Give our reparations to foreigners, foreign citizens, talking about, we have a moral obligation. No, white folks, maybe y'all have the moral obligation. I wouldn't doubt it, because you go all over the globe with your culture of conquest, taking, But when y'all did that shit of flooding our communities with drugs that came from, like, the Golden Triangle, where the Muslims make it, Arabs make it, or the Asians make it, and also flooding our communities with drugs like cocaine and crack from these South American countries and stuff, where that's made, and then bring in the folks, very same folks who do it, who do that, and you're going to tell me that's not discrimination against us, and y'all are not sabotaging our communities again, and bring in people who are perfectly willing to work with y'all to sabotage our communities, because, these black people, now that they're not slaves anymore, they want everything equal, and we don't feel like doing that, so we'll invite y'all in. Y'all will be grateful because y'all come from places where they brutalize you even more. They brutalize y'all over there too, you people. We've brutalized these blacks terrible, but you know what? We owe you. Yeah, we didn't, come over to your country to brutalize y'all with slavery and shit like that, but we owe you because we have a moral obligation. Yeah, you feel guilty, I bet you do, for what y'all people have done to my people. And we have no moral obligation to do none of that, and we're not. And since y'all want to try to force us to do it and take less, we get less, but we got to do more, make do with less, to give more to foreigners for reparations that they're not entitled to. I don't care what the fuck you want to call it. That's what it is. Reparations for a moral crisis that we didn't do to them. I don't know if you whites did it. I don't think so. But if you did, hey, then that's on y'all. But until we get our reparations, after our people have built this country and been brutalized for over 400 years, held back, slave breeding programs, sundown towns, and all this shit like that, I'm advising my black people, we need to all stick together because ain't nobody doing shit for us, and they already know it. Nothing. Even our black so-called leaders in the church, fuck them too, including the Obamas, wolves in sheep's clothes, who got a huge portion of the black vote because we were so proud to have a black president who then turned around and immediately after, well, not immediately, but somewhere along the way goes, I'm not just the president of black people. Yeah, we know. You're not the president of us at all because you did shit for us. Nothing. Not even Chicago, New York, no place where black people dying in the streets. You didn't even do nothing for Maui, where you claim to be from Hawaii. I ain't getting into that. But I know me, I'm from New York, and if I was super rich like them and something bad happened in New York like happened in Maui, I would damn sure go to Maui and donate. Even Bill and Hillary, I know they would. Yo, Bill and Hillary, if something bad happened in Arkansas where they from, I'm sure they would go and make sure, at least try to help and make sure the Arkansas people okay, donate money, shit like that. Not wake up like you woke up from a nap, give a statement and Obama and talk about, oh, now y'all donate to this and this and that. I don't think he even went. But you're from Hawaii? Wow. Well, if so, if you are from Hawaii then, as you say, then you're a fucked up person, Hawaiian. A fucked up Hawaiian. I'll tell you to your face. I'm not even sure you are, but I ain't getting into that. Because for me, see, I don't have proof of that. So for me, what it is that I know anywhere in the country, Americans, and you rich, and something bad like that happened in your state where you grew up, and maybe you was poor or disadvantaged or, didn't have a lot, but now you big time, hell yeah, they would donate. Black, white, Spanish, Chinese, whatever, Americans. Sure, yeah, we would. And we would donate too, whether it was just black or whatever, we would donate. Just like, for example, when that happened in New Orleans. Remember? New Orleans, levees broke. Yeah, because we're Americans. But you didn't do that, Obama. So, okay, you say you're American. Yeah, all right. You're a shitty American if you are. So, yeah, my black people, I'm going to be bringing them together so that we can do something for our communities and get it done by refusing to vote for y'all unless you do something for us before the election. Or we'll just put together our own black political party and not a black army. Because I know y'all killed Malcolm X for that. Fuck y'all.